Welcome friends to the newest edition of Seahawkers What If, the most unique Seahawks preview show in the multiverse. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner. Coming out and give me a follow on Twitter at Clinton Bond. I am joined by the one, the only, the great Brandon Schultz. Go follow him on Twitter at SeahawkersPod. And of course, this would not be, it could not be, we could not traverse the Seahawks multiverse without the protector of the Seahawks multiverse, and that is Mr. Phil Leidick. Gentlemen, we are having, it's a bit of a tough week, obviously, right? The Hamlin, not the Hamlin news, that's a terrible way to say it. What's happening with that young man? Terrible, tragic. We're praying and hoping that he has a full recovery, as speedy as possible, and gets back out there for the Buffalo Bills. Heck, hopefully even this year, if that's at all possible. We can only hope for it. With that, I feel like the best way to honor a dude who's out there, a 24-year-old warrior who just loves the game of football, is to do what we normally do, which is to come on here and talk football. Now, of course, we're not going to talk Buffalo Bills because that's not our business. And with that, we are going to talk about our team, our Seattle Seahawks, 8-8, make or break. Playoffs on the line. The boys are head nodding over here on YouTube, youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast. Coming out and give the, follow this and coming out live and watch it with us. This is fun. It's been a fun year, right? This has been a fun year. I want the fun. It's like a big bag of Funyuns. I want more Funyuns. I want to keep eating the good Funyuns. I want the fun to last, but I want it to end well. The playoffs are out of our control in that sense, because that's not going to happen until Sunday night, as we know. Big bunch of rubbish that is. But the things we can control.
Okay.
Fellas,
can I include two slices? Can I include two slices of beef here? I've been dying to be 2 slices of beef. One, I was enjoying a bath. You guys had a fantastic podcast going. I think it was Monday. I enjoyed it. And then I was really thrilled that you guys both appreciated my favorite star along with Steve Largent, Clyde Drexler.
Yes.
For the Portland Trailblazers. My room was covered in Largent and Drexler stuff, posters, cards as a boy. The Blazers were so good though that that was my excited team. The Seahawks were my other team that I just appreciated from the area. But I had one beef with what you said. I heard you slip in there. The Sonics were better than the Blazers. Give me a break. The Blazers won 21 years in a row. They were in the playoffs. They went to 2 championships during the 90s, one against the Bulls, another before that against the Pistons, and they almost went a third time if they weren't injured against the Lakers. I have no idea who ever thought the Sonics were as good as the Blazers. So that was a random beef. That might have upset me so much that I forgot how upset I was with the league for doing this ridiculous thing to us with the Sunday night, and I started to feel better about it, and we're ready for the show. So what do? I got some time. I take a shower. I kick on the KJ Wright show, which I thought was going to be fun and insightful, and he just got me way madder. I don't know if anybody listened to the KJ Wright show, but he said there's no way what the league did will not affect those players. If the Seahawks win, they are going to be so down. It's going to be impossible for them to get up. And for two, most Lions players, if you're healthy, there's one thing you don't want to do go into the off season is ruin your vacation by being hurt, by laying it all on the line, by jumping over the barbed wire. He goes, no matter how fired up the coach is, it's going to be very difficult for the Lions to get up for that. And I cannot believe they saved the 18th week schedule till the last week. And they did what they did to the Hawks. They did us dirty. And I had to get all that out because I want to get positive with the show. Is that okay? 2 slices of beef. 1, the Blazers are better. 2, I can't believe the league did that to us. But okay, I'm happy now.
I love the early beef from Mr. Phil. I love the early beef. One of them you're totally correct on. So Brandon, on the one that he's right about, with the doing the dirty. I hear Coach Carroll speak. I think it's great podium talk and staying super placid and super like positive Pete. Do you think underneath positive Pete, do you think he feels the way he says he feels?
I think that there's a part of him that feels that way, but I think the part of him that the way that he should feel in that the NFL clearly wants the Lions and the Packers to be a win and in game.
Sure.
He should be more upset about the scheduling, because clearly the NFL is putting pressure on the officiating to officiate this Rams Seahawks game in one way so it can get the outcome that it wants come Lions Packers.
I see the roundabout, the logic that you're laying there. I'm just pissed. I don't think it's the right thing to do, and it doesn't sit well with me. And I get all we should have beat these teams. Yeah, that's all. Like, it's one of those things.
So should the Packers have won? Right. I mean, anybody could have won.
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
ridiculous.
Both
we can be mad about both things. We can be mad that our team went 0-4 against the NFC South.
Yeah.
We can also be mad that the NFL screwed us with regard to the schedule. Those we can be mad about two things.
Those are fine.
Look, Phil was mad about two things, and one of them wasn't even Seahawks related.
That's right.
But it had to do with my Seahawks podcast, one of my favorite shows in the world, the 3 in, 3 out show.
One of them was barely Seahawks related.
Okay. I love me some Drexler too. So we all could
so that was
cherish.
Happy. That was
yeah.
happy.
We all could come together and cherish Clyde the Glide. We can cherish this Week 18 Seahawks game, and then we'll have to turn it over to Sunday night. I'd say the only good and great part is that when we get this victory versus the Rams, Brandon, you've been talking about it very much, perhaps a watch party for that Sunday night game in Lambeau. Maybe there's a Seahawkers podcast watch party where the collective Hawkra can be focused, concentrating all firepower on the nearest Star Destroyer, and like Admiral Akbar taking down Rodgers in his own house via the Hawkra. That's what I'm looking forward to. So
once we overcome terrible officiating and another emotional Bobby Wagner game, yes, we can cheer on the Lions.
We can expect all those things. So why don't we get into Seahawks What If? Let's get into the preview. Mr. Phil, I didn't know if you wanted to do it previously with the
I got one.
You
got
one. Okay. So this is for the folks who are maybe listening for the first time. Thank you a ton. Mr. Phil, the Protector.
About time. I mean, you waited until the final week of the regular season.
Hey, listen. But we might do this for 50 some odd more years, fellas, right? This could be the infancy stage in the long haul. So take the long view for once, for crying out loud there, Brandon. All right.
So
Phil,
no pressure for you then, Clinton, because you've got to crush this one. So then they remember to come back at the start of next season.
I love it. Right. The long play, as we talk about, right? So Mr. Phil,
or next week. I mean, I meant to say next week for the playoff preview.
Right. That's correct. So
okay, gentlemen,
the Protector, take it away. What do we got to know about these lousy Lambs?
Okay, previously we have the Lambs this week. Their offense is 24th by DVOA. Overall, they're 25th by DVOA, and that even includes back when they had Aaron Donald and Kupp and the actual good players on their team. Offensively, 24th. They're 23rd against the pass, 22nd against the rush. On offense, Akers had quite a few nice runs last week. He was nicely blocked, well executed, especially early. Mayfield started out kind of jumpy and looked a little panicky behind that untrustworthy protection against, pretty good pass rush from the Chargers. Baker used the tight end very often in the first half. He went through his progressions pretty quickly, and so I could notice that. On the second drive, they had a lot of nice variety. Even Baker scrambled for a first. When protected or rolling out, Baker looked accurate. So I think he's a more accurate thrower than what we saw from Mike White. Jefferson makes catches in traffic and while being hit, the wide receiver. Mayfield held on and gave up a sack fumble. Here's what I would say about Baker. His play is far too consequential. What Baker does really impacts how things go. I think that's a failure right now with how things are being called. The O-line is mostly awful in the passing game. I said Baker looked pretty good when he had protection, but he didn't have much of that. Baker did him a few favors also for the opponent. He tried to throw a pick six, then nearly gave up a safety in the fourth. By then it was over. I feel like McVay gave up in the fourth and just said, we're going to call the same running play over and over. Their special teams, all I have to say, they're 20th by DVOA, so not nearly as good as our number one special teams. Their defense is 19th by DVOA, 24th against the pass, 13th in the run. Wagner is good. Big surprise there. If you block him, you can run on this team. So find someone to get on Wagner. Middle of the field was open, especially in the deeper zones. The middle was open whenever they wanted it. Running on the Lambs looked fairly easy. It was pretty much Bobby or nothing. I kind of wonder if we'll see a different team. They looked uninspired. I'm worried that their effort was kind of pathetic against their roommates there down in Los Angeles. And when the rivalry comes, when they come up to face their rivals, maybe it'll be a little different. There was 0 pass rush in the first half until they blitzed Ramsey twice during the same drive. I don't think there was any concern for pass rush. They consistently got knocked back in the run game. I mean, if you watch the line of scrimmage, whenever Chargers wanted to run, it was like shove them over. It looked like, down they go. The Chargers inserted their backup quarterback and running back in the fourth. Eckler had been doing whatever he wanted against them, and his coach was the only one there that could stop him by super gluing his butt to the bench. Otherwise, Eckler was still destroying them. Herbert was quick and decisive. I think if we're quick and decisive, we can make plays against them. The result, the Lambs were out physicaled, out quarterbacked. And I will say a new thing that I'm going to bring up here, and this is kind of a weird transition, but some people put their wishes in. They did pretty good last week. Carr wanted Lockett to play, and that was a yes. Gino to play well. That was a yes. Good job, Carr on her wish. Lloydzilla wanted K9 to have 130 yards plus a touchdown. Super close. K9 should have got a touchdown. Frost, K9 to have 75 yards plus the touchdown. Destroyed that 75, almost a touchdown. He also wanted Waldron to find ways to help the O-line, and that was a big yes. I think Waldron assisted the O-line in our matchup. So don't forget, put your wishes in the Discord if you're right. If we have another game, we'll read about it next week.
Nice.
Anything else to add from that game before we jump into our categories, gentlemen?
Brandon, you got
When
anything
we
there?
have another game.
Yes.
When we have another game, Phil.
I'm going for a winning season. You guys
It
are
is
more
right there.
positive than me about the
There it is
Packer
behind us.
situation.
And one thing to chime in with was just floating through Twitter. So now with the week 18 schedules, like things are changing, right? With Bengals and Bills, and they are what they are. So we can't be too mad about those things for obvious reasons. But now it looks like the Bengals and Ravens are going to play at 1:00 in week 18, which means the Chargers are now going to know the outcome of that game, which means their game versus the Broncos might not mean anything. So that's some breaking news. Whereas just maybe a few hours ago, the Chargers were going to be going for the 5 seed, and that would be very important because then they don't got to play one of the top 3. They would play probably Jacksonville, maybe Tennessee.
And the Bears are going to lose. Obviously, now they're starting
the Bears are starting Peterman, exactly.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, the Chargers may have nothing to play for. So we gotta figure out that rooting as well. Lots of moving pieces.
But even if the Donkeys win, we could still get the 5th pick, right? I mean, we're not going lower than
Yeah,
not going lower than top 5.
Lower top 5. Top 5.
3 is better than 5, though.
That's true. And 2 is better than 3. But we got lots of categories. So, Mr. Phil, why don't you take us through this week's game show and tell us what our categories are?
Here we go with the game show. Well, regardless of what happens in the scandalous Sunday night matchup, there's one thing still on the table. No matter what, if we can accomplish the sweep of McVay's Lambs, our Hawks will have accomplished what less than 1% of the media thought possible back in August. We can finish over 500 and score another winning season. This is a big game no matter what, because what if our Hawks can complete a winning season? Episode 46. What if we win? What if we can have a winning season? These all have to do with winning. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the categories that will be revealed when the gentlemen pick their category. Let's start with Clinton. Where do you want to go? Winning time, winning over, winning battles, winning smile, winning stat, winning play, winning coaches, or winning?
Sometimes you got to win to win, right? That's quite nice. Sometimes I gamble while I gamble. That's the different show, but I like to gamble while I gamble sometimes. Sometimes you got to win while you win. Of all these, when I first looked at this, I thought it said winning Beatles, but that's pretty much because I'm sometimes illiterate. So I'm going to go with winning battles because I thought it was the Beatles. And that sounds like a fun category.
Okay, so we remove winning battles. And here's my problem. I need to get rid of this bar that's blocking me for some reason. So let me go ahead and read the question. I don't know. Can you guys see the question there?
It's a little partially blocked. We also see that bar that you're talking about, that little
Yeah,
toolbar.
that wasn't nice of him to do that, was it? How about now? Okay, let's try it. Winning battles. What if our blockers, Seahawk blockers, can win consistently in the run game, as the Chargers even did for Eckler? Who do you expect to be a key difference maker, blockers overall, against the Lambs, Clinton?
Oh, this is great. I'm ecstatic I chose this one first. This is perfect. This is just, we've been talking about this all week. And then, it's one thing when we call it out on 3 and 3 out. And then it's one thing when I see Michael Sean Dugar, tweeting it out there, and I see Corbin Smith highlighting these plays, and I'm like, oh, damn, I was right. So call this one out. This is the Colby Parkinson show, baby. Let's go. This is tight ends. This is 12 personnel, and Colby and Fant, and just kicking things out. I was so impressed with Parkinson's blocking. And it's because, when someone tells you, oh, you got to see this movie, it's the best movie ever, this is the best movie, you got to see this movie. And you see the movie and you're like, it was good, but a little hyperbolic, right? I think the exact opposite stuff was happening with Parkinson. Was like, we didn't see him blocking too well. And the narrative was, he really just can't do it. Not his game, not what he does. Disley gets hurt. Parkinson has to slide, in more, and takes on more blocking responsibility with more snaps. The dude's pancaking guys. So that's my short answer. I want to see more Parkinson and 12 personnel getting around the edge and freaking pancaking linebackers 10 yards downfield. Give me that all day for the win.
I love it. You want to add anything to that, Brandon, or just jump to another category? Your choice.
Well, I'll piggyback a little bit off of what you said earlier, Phil, and that's I think that the difference maker will be the guy who gets to the second level consistently, because it's another emotional Bobby Wagner game.
Yeah.
And so if they're getting off that initial block, getting to the second level, whether it's Lewis, that's that's his assignment, or on the opposite side with Gabe Jackson, if he's able to be healthy and play a full game, because I know Phil Haynes went down to injury last week. And just whoever gets that assignment of consistently getting to the second level to put their shoulder into Bobby.
Yeah, I love that. That makes sense. So where do you want to go, Brandon? What do you got?
I will go with winning time.
Winning time. Here we go. Can you guys see it now?
Yes. Should we sing more Hootie like last week?
I'm not doing it this time. I couldn't make myself listen to myself on that one. But
was that a skip 30? Skip 30?
Yeah, skip. Oh, here it comes. Let's skip 30. I'm so close to doing it. I've got to stop myself. Right? Okay. Let's read this, Brandon. What if you can point to a kind of moment when we will take charge of this game? What will that look like, Brandon?
I gotta go to my guy Godwin Igwebuike and say that if we're consistently getting the ball down the field in special teams, putting the offense in short fields, even with no Aaron Donald, you still have to worry about this Rams defense. And so I want to see some short fields. I want to see Igwebuike putting us in those positions. Now, hopefully it's because it's, at the start of the half, maybe after holding them to field goals and not touchdowns, because I think if we're giving up too many of those touchdowns, then that part's not going to matter too much. But I want to see consistent special teams play that puts us in a good position on offense.
I think you're right. And I saw how you flexed your pronunciation skills in there.
I mostly wanted to flex my pronunciation skill, because Clinton still, I don't think, has it.
Okay. Correct. So what do you got, Clinton, on this? What kind of moment will we take charge of this game when we take charge of this game?
Yeah. So I think it's going to manifest itself in like a 6.5 minute touchdown drive. And I don't know what quarter that happens. And maybe it's the first drive of the game. I am still a big believer in this team. I don't know if you guys saw last week what happened. We got the ball, and what did we do? What happened? Got the ball and we
scored.
Last time?
I guess the Jets.
Yeah, nothing.
We got the ball and we scored, guys. We scored 3 plays. We got the ball and we scored. So like,
Oh, I
You're
thought you
talking
meant
about off of
second
the kickoff.
half.
oh yeah, no, I'm just saying it. I was just kind of, I'm
You're
saying in
flexing
general.
now. Oh, this is the flexing
This is
category.
He was being
yeah.
very vague about when we were getting the ball.
I
We
thought it
got
was
the ball.
second half because Brandon had talked about this is flexing time. It shouldn't say winning time.
I am saying we're going to have a 6+ minute drive sometime in the game. I don't know when it is. Then I jumped mental ships and said, I want the ball first because I want the ball first, because we score, we win more often when we get the ball first. I still believe that. And when we have a 6+ minute drive that culminates in 6 plus a good extra point, so full 7, that's when we will know that this game is ours. That may happen in the first quarter. It may happen in the fourth quarter, but we will have a 6+ minute drive, and that is when we'll know this is our game.
That lines up with KJ. He said he thinks that the Rams have already checked out, but if they see blood in the water, like that, we start giving them a chance, it's going to be on, and they're going to forget their offseason, and they're like, we're knocking the Seahawks out of their hopes right now. But he thinks if we can start out well, then they'll just continue to give up like they did last week. So
I like that idea.
You
might get the ball.
You might be right. Where do you want to go next, Clinton?
There's so many good ones here. I'm going to go with winning smile.
Winning smile. So this is kind of a heart. This one is good for your heart here as you think about some of the people on the sideline from our favorite team. What if someone from the team gets caught after the game flashing a smile? Who do you want that to be and why?
Ooh, this is a good one. I am enamored with my choices. I'm telling you, I'm 2 for 2 so far in my choices here. Or maybe it's just that you have good categories and good questions. Or maybe it's both. There is somebody on this team who has the biggest, brightest smile. There's a lot of handsome dudes and a lot of dudes out there that, great looking fellas, muscular dudes, right? These are man's men and big smiles. There's nobody quite like DK Metcalf when it comes to that gigantic smile that does come out of him, even more than time to time.
It means something when he does it. Yeah.
Correct. It's a meaningful, it's not a haphazard smile, right? It's not a careless whisper over here. If he is smiling, it's because he's in the end zone or he's putting up numbers versus what I think is his biggest rival, which is Jalen Ramsey. So if we see DK Metcalf smiling, the big pearly whites are out there, and he gets that twinkle eyes too. He's an emotional smiler. If we see that smile breaking out after the game or on the sidelines, good things are happening. We're winning this game, and he's going for 80 plus and a touchdown and helping this team win once again. That would be very, very cool to see.
How about you, Brandon? Who do you want to see?
Well, I'm gonna double up on the 2 that Clinton missed, or maybe just to give me some room. But because I want a trifecta of smiles. I want it to be DK, I want it to be Tyler Lockett, and I want it to be Geno Smith. Now, maybe I was only supposed to give one answer, but the reason why I'm picking all 3 is because 151 yards from Geno Smith gets him into the record books for the Seahawks as the most prolific passer in regular season history and franchise history for a single season. If Tyler Lockett goes,
there's an extra game this year, right? So it's cool.
Why do you gotta poo-poo this, Phil?
No, I love it. I love it. Here, another. Go ahead.
He can only play in the games that he can play in. And did you have Geno Smith playing all 17 games this season? I bet if I asked you 17 weeks ago, the answer would have been no.
Yes.
But so you have Geno. That's exciting. You've got
Geno was my guy the whole time. You know that though. Geno was my
Mine too. Mine was not Drew Lock ever. There's
not
no
to get
record.
4,000. Not to get 4,000 yards. Let's be clear.
There is no record of me ever ordering a Drew Lock jersey at some point in the offseason. That didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Well, so we've got Geno, we've got DK. DK over 1,000 yards on the season already. One guy just slightly short is Tyler Lockett, and he's the guy I want to be seeing with a big smile on the sidelines because he's gone over 1,000 yards. It would only be the 3rd time in Seahawks history that a pair of receivers go over 1,000 yards together the same season.
Very good. I love it. Where do you want to go next then, Brandon? Let's keep winning.
I will go to winning over.
Winning over. You guys like this top half here, apparently.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Here we go.
Yeah.
That bottom half. We'll get to it.
Okay, we'll do it later. What if, Brandon, what if one more Seahawk can win you over for next year? Who can help their resume in this game?
Ooh, in this game, the guy who could really win me over in this game, who needs to win me over, is linebacker Cody Barton. With him taking over the play calling, with Jordan Brooks being sidelined with the injury, unfortunately. I think that he could make a big difference in this game if he comes out, and he's had up and down moments throughout the season. I thought the last game was pretty good. He's come on more toward the end of the season and been better in the second half than he was in the first. And so if he can continue to show that, then I can be on board in a contract season with bringing Cody Barton back if he can show it in this game against the Rams.
Good answer. How about you, Clinton? Who can win you over?
Yeah, so it's we're two peas in a pod here, because I was thinking linebackers. I was thinking Tanner Muse. We need to. He's got a shot. Now, what happened last year, and the cool part about Brandon's answer being Barton is that this is kind of what happened last year, where Bobby went down. Now, it was more than just a game and a half. Bobby went down. Barton had 4 or 5 weeks where he stepped in and played pretty, I would say, good, pretty darn well, to the point where where some of us were like, it's okay if we lose Bobby, and some of us did not want to lose Bobby at all.
You were saying that, yes.
Yes, I had my Drew Lock jersey on, saying it's cool if we lose Bobby Wagner, and my takes were spot on. I think Barton's a good linebacker.
Now I feel really wrong about that.
I don't feel that wrong about it. I think Wagner's had a good year stats wise, and I'm not sure I think Barton's a fine linebacker. He's playing good. The reason the Tanner Muse stuff is going to be interesting is because we don't really know what Brooks's trajectory back to the playing field is going to be for quite a while. Late season injury with an ACL. Maybe he's out there for training camp, and maybe he's not. We don't know. So it'll be really cool to see if Tanner Muse could be, hey, we've the very least, if he plays well, we got a great depth piece going into 2023. If there's injury there and it's like, hey, we've got a solid linebacker and we could start to really see things from him. I'm not sure one game against the deflated Rams team is going to be enough, but it'd be super cool to kind of see what he's got in this game. So, all eyes on number 58. So 57 and 58 back to back, belly to belly. Let's go.
All right. I actually hope he doesn't play a ton, but I'm all in for being excited about Muse a little bit. I just hope that he doesn't get tons of snaps. Where would you like to go next then, Clinton?
All right, let's go to winning coaches.
Winning coaches. Okay, this opens up a lot of options for how you might answer it. Clinton, what if a coach or play caller is huge in this game? What will he successfully instigate?
Good answer. Good question. Good answer.
Good answer.
The answer's in your mind. And how about you share your good answer with the rest of the listeners, Clinton?
Yeah. Good answer. So what if instigate's the really interesting word there, right? A little fire starter. I'm gonna look at I'm gonna put the emphasis on Coach Hurt.
Okay.
And what I think he could instigate potentially, our pressure has been better, right? And then you could go around into the players as to why. And you could also look at some of the blitz packages, just some of the blitzing we've been doing. We're bringing our linebackers through the A gap and doing some of those interesting things.
How about Taylor? How about playing Taylor properly? I kind of like that.
Well, I mean, and that's certainly part of it, right? We gave Taylor a much more fuller complementary of snaps, and lo and behold, he has 2.5 sacks. The thing is, I forget which podcast it was, who it was that they were talking about this, which I thought was really nicely thought about. They're like, listen, it's this organism of different things where Mafe got more early snaps. We were better at defending the run. Therefore, Taylor was in more obvious pass situations. And then Mike White threw the ball 40 times and Taylor was in a lot for that. So it's I don't think Taylor can exist on an island because he's not very good against the run this part of his career. He's just not there yet, setting the edge. When we get teams into 2nd and 8, 2nd and 12, 3rd and 7, 3rd and long, that's Taylor all day long. So I think if Clint Hurt could help manifest, I'll try and be a little bit more specific. If we could, to crystallize it, if we can manifest 2nd and longs, then that is the instigation we'll need to see consistent pressure, because it sets up for our best personnel in obvious passing downs. That's also including Miles Adams right up the gut too. That'd be really cool to see. So can he instigate that? Can he do some things on 1st down that are like run blitzes and just maybe blitzes, put some pressure on? We shall see. That's the instigation I'm looking for from Coach Hurt.
Wiser personnel packages and play calls on 1st down. I like that. How about you? How about you, Brandon? What would you say to this question?
Yeah, and I think to get to where Clinton's talking about, it's important to do what they did last week, get out to a bit of an early lead against the Rams and make them play come from behind football, because I think it's going to be it's going to be a tough thing for the defense if they're going to have to get hammered by Akers in the run game consistently. That's going to make it tougher on the defense. Whereas, get out to a good start. If Shane Waldron can have that good 15 initial plays to where you can put a touchdown up on the board early, maybe bounce back, get, at least another field goal, get, double-digit points on the board against the Rams early. That way, yeah, like you were saying with KJ, that they are already hopefully checked out going into this last game. I don't know if the rivalry between the two teams in the same building is as strong as a division rivalry, and the fact that Sean McVay seems to have Coach Carroll's number, apart from
this
this
would be
one
the first
time this
we
year.
Swept them, right? I mean, we haven't beat them twice since 2013, pre-McVay.
Right. Yeah, it's been a little while. So I think to do that again, it's going to be up to the offense and Shane Waldron to call the type of game, hopefully getting some quick throws out there, not trying to test DK, against, I know they're going to want to go after Ramsey just because DK wants to go after Ramsey. I would avoid that. I would try and just move down the field, try and go with the running game heavy and see him get out to a start that way instead.
Dude, they're going to go after Ramsey. Yeah, I mean,
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it, just like I was fine in the last game, really going after Gardner heavy once they had the double-digit lead.
Yeah.
But wait until that happens.
Okay. Okay.
DK needs to prove back Geno's trust, because Geno gave him some sweet passes, 2, I think, that were as good as he could have done, given DK every chance. I think DK is going to want to come back and show that he's going to reestablish trust, and we know he can do it against Ramsey.
I'll agree.
Where do you want to go next? I think we go next to Brandon. Winning stat, winning play, or just plain out winning? Where do you go?
Just plain out winning.
Okay. Well, I can't remember what I put here, but I think it's different than the rest.
I don't remember either, but I'm wondering if I should have saved it for last, but here we go.
Okay, this is the philosophical, which of course philosophy means the love of learning, but it has to do with, thinking in that kind of way. So this question, I'll give you a little time to think about it as I read it slowly. What if winning was describable? How would you explain why you like watching your favorite team win? What is it about winning that just, if you could describe it, why do we enjoy that in general? Are you able to put words to that?
Yeah. Well, I seem to remember a famous philosopher once saying, winning is better than losing. And it's always stuck with me.
Clinton said that last week for like his wish, or like I had one spelling word. He's like, winning's better than losing. So why is that? You can't say why. You just think it's better because losing's horrible. Why do you put yourself in the situation where you're either going to see our team have a losing season or a winning season?
It feels better to win. Just that feeling that you have. And I like the idea too of ending the season with that victorious feeling. We can't control what happens in the Packers and the Lions. If it so happens that game doesn't go our way, I can be a content person knowing that nobody expected this team to have that victory, to have that, to be on the winning side of the record at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I think I can be content with that, even if they end up missing the playoffs, just because it's kind of sticking it to everybody else. And I kind of feel that way anyway,
That's
even with
kind of
8
what winning's
wins.
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the watch party might be like a happy funeral march, as you know what the league wants and you know what Rodgers is probably going to do. But if we've already got a winning season, just savor the winning season, knowing what we're probably getting into with that Sunday night experience.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Clint? Could you describe why we just put ourselves in these spots where we're going to either enjoy winning or not, but what makes the winning so worth it? Can you describe the feelings?
There's this very famous philosopher who, well, no, just joking, but gotta love it. Winning is better than losing. And Brandon, is that Adams originally, or is that yours originally, or is that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you guys have been doing this for many years, right?
Yeah.
It's something I've always said.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll
I
give
love
to
it. I love it.
Brandon.
I'll say it's Brandon's. Winning is better than losing. It's great. With that, the description that I would apply to it is that for me, I'd say there's two senses that come up, two emotions that come up when your team's winning. One is you feel honored, and I'll explain why I feel honored. And the other one is you feel a matter of pride. Those are things I feel when we're winning. I think I feel that way because you're watching a machine, a complex systems engineering machine, somehow do what it was intended to do. And that's cool. It's really cool to watch very complicated systems work elegantly. It's hard. And so the matter of respect that you have when you see your team kind of, you know what the feeling is of firing at all cylinders, you take pride in it, even though you're not the one out there doing a darn thing. You take pride that you've invested your time in this team and they're rewarding you. And hence the honor. They're rewarding you with the play, and you feel honored. I feel honored when they play well, because they're doing it for the logo on their helmet. And they're doing it for their own joy and pride, and it brings me a lot of honor. So seeing a complicated system work effectively breeds those kind of emotions for me, and because of that, winning is indeed better than losing.
Sure, definitely. And losing is painful. So let's have a winning season. Okay, yeah. 2 cover tiles left. Clinton, winning stat or winning play?
Okay, I'm intrigued more by winning stat, so let's go there.
Here we go. One of these tiles had to lose, so here we go, Clinton. What if you can give one stat that'll mean certain success against these uneven lambs, this uneven lambs team? One stat you're sure if this happens, we win.
Okay. I've been thinking about these. There's a couple. I feel I've got 2 in mind. One I feel would be cool, but it might not mean it's a Lambs loss. This one I think will. Cam Akers under 78 yards rushing. How about that? Like just, a very vanilla game. And we're not talking about 10 attempts, 78 yards, right? They tried to run Cam Akers 20 plus times or 18 plus times, 78 or under yards. If that's his line, I'm not sure that they score a lot of points on Sunday.
Good. How about you, Brandon? One stat that'll mean certain success this Sunday.
That's certain success. How
112
about...
points for Seattle.
Ken Walker runs for 500 yards.
Yeah, well, we can go crazy with it, right?
Yeah, I guess I left that pretty wide open. In a potential outcome in the multiverse, that'd be a 1 in 100 at least, or less.
Yeah, I was trying to get a little bit more into the nooks and crannies of my answer. Maybe not going with something necessarily related to a huge game by Geno or a huge game by one of the stars. Yeah, sure. Let's go with a similar stat line for Colby Parkinson in back-to-back weeks. Let's say 60 plus yards and a touchdown for Colby Parkinson. So this feels like a wish right now,
Yeah.
But I also feel that if they're continuing to use Colby in that way, where he's an integral part of the offense, I think it means that he's on the field a lot with the run game. And then I think he's also involved in the passing game. And those things complementary means the offense is working in that complex machinery that Clinton described so well.
Okay. Yeah, you went with a specific guy, which made it feel like a wish, but it's also more like this is what will crowbar our win. So yeah, you pulled it off, I think. Last category, you don't get to pick because there's only one. Brandon, winning play. What if there's one type of play we need to win on, offense or defense? What is it? We need to win on this kind of a play during this game.
We need to win up front on defense, specifically with regard to the run. Cam Akers is a guy that I think can get that offense moving, because if Akers is getting consistently 4 to 5 yards, it means that Baker Mayfield is going to have enough time to throw the ball from a clean pocket.
Yeah.
And with Baker, if he's able to do that, then we're going to have to worry. So winning up front on early downs, especially with that front four.
Very good. Type of play, Clinton, we need to win on against the Lambs.
Yeah. I so going to go to the other side of the ball and say, I really want to see us win and do a lot of and have success with runs from under center. Been talking about that a lot the last couple of weeks, versus the run from shotgun, right? So and giving our two backs, K9 being the breadwinner, if you will, and DJ getting his. Those guys are good when they have a head of steam. So committing to being under center, running the ball from under center, and being successful with under center runs, I think will portend to a really, really strong day for our running. Just that's everything. We run the ball well, we control the clock, we move the chain. Yeah, we probably win the game.
Very good. I like it either way. So win in the run game and we win.
Yes. Go figure.
Okay. Final section here is our predictions and our wishing. Last week, you both picked the correct winner, not by near enough points, but Clinton said, I'm picking it close, but he still picked the larger margin of victory. Somehow Clinton is 8-3 on picking the winner and then when the tiebreaker is the spread. He is likely, unless we make this final game worth 6 wins. If we do that, I used to do with you, say the final one is worth all the points. No, anyways, Clinton's going to carry it away. But also with the wish, Brandon nailed his wish. Nice. That was handled right away in the game as Diggs caught it, held the ball up in the air, and ticked off his coach. But that was a pretty fun moment. Clinton,
I feel like the first one to get their wish should get the win, but I guess this is you deciding who gets wins and losses.
That's how I protect things.
In a different version of what if, in the parallelisms that we have, you would have won a lot of times. But
maybe next season the wish will be the tiebreaker. The first tiebreaker will be the wish. Maybe we could do that.
Maybe season 50.
Well, I mean, maybe you could just throw me a bone here and there, Phil, and actually award me a win in some arbitrary way. Whenever you choose. This Brandon is wins. I don't know how you developed your scoring system, but
you're the wish. How about if you're like the wish master? Like you nailed the wish.
You're the wish master this week.
Is that cool?
How do you like that? That's a great present. You can be Brandon.
Doesn't do me any good now, but whatever.
Okay. Thanks for enjoying winning. Very good. Okay. Clinton's wish missed in a good way, right? I mean, he picked the amount of catches, which was incredible that he got 5, and then he had to throw touchdown on the end. No, he didn't.
No,
he threw 50 yards instead of touchdown. And I'm like, I'm happier with the touchdown than the yards. But he did a nice job on that. Clinton, you have to pick first. Final one. See if you can get to 9, like the Seahawks are trying to get to 9. It's very difficult to beat Brandon. We know that on that prediction.
That difficult. I'm going to go with 27-22 Seahawks victory. Yeah, I think that's about right. It's close enough that
is that last score? What did we beat them last time?
Maybe. I didn't even look. I don't know. It just felt about right for a Rams game, right? So 27-22. Maybe we hold them to less, but we're the Seahawks and they're the Rams, and McVay will figure things out. And Tutu Atwell will somehow go off for 91 yards rushing around the bend and piss me off. But 27-22 Seahawks victory, and then I think I owe you my wish as well.
Yeah, Final
Okay.
wish.
So this wish I wish is that we that I'm not sure who will do it. It might be Muse. Higby, 4 receptions or less on the day.
Okay.
We
4 or less.
contain to end the year, we contain a tight end. That might not sound like a stretch, but we are the worst team in the league against tight end receptions. So
I mean, you realize that 4 catches a game, that's like 68 catches for a tight end. That's pretty good.
but not against us.
Okay. And Higby was a problem. Mayfield looks for him on almost every play, one way or another. So
exactly. Higby's kind of come to life with Mayfield on, back there. So if he's not doing that, Skoranek is still hurt, right? They're all banged up, besides like the Tutu Atwells of the world there. So it'd be another dude taken out of the equation, which will portend to a W for us, which is all I'm after.
got it, Brandon. So he went 27-22, and he picked 4 or less, or less than 4, 4 or less, less than
4 or less.
4 or less.
4 is the ceiling.
That's
okay. Well, my wish, it might be a little complex because I don't know if it's necessarily one player, but the thing that I want to stop with the Rams, in addition to Cam Akers, if they're getting those types of stops, it's going to be those runs with Powell and Tutu Atwell, where that's the jet sweep type runs where they're trying to get to the outside. And so my wish is for the guys playing the edges, whether it's defensive end, outside linebacker on the other side, whether it's Mafe in there, Darrell Taylor, for them to have 3 tackles for a loss in the run. And it can be, I think those plays by the receivers open it up more to those types of plays, but I'm thinking just a combination of 3 tackles for a loss, especially on the edges. That's my wish. And unfortunately, my prediction, I'm very pessimistic about this game because of the scheduling, because of what I think the NFL wants to happen for the Packers and the Lions game being in the evening. I think they want that to be a win and in game. And so I am predicting a Rams 20-19 victory.
That hurts.
Every time, Brandon.
But we're still winning because nobody predicted us to have 8 wins this season.
So it's still a happiness for you. Yeah. I'm putting a lot of enjoyment in so for some reason I've overinvested in this game. I want a winning season. It matters to me more than it ought to. I'd like a winning season. And then even though I know the Packers are going to win, I'll be hoping like crazy that somehow other will happen and I can be proven wrong in that one.
It's already a winning season, Phil. Yeah. We already won. We got to 8 wins with Geno Smith on a rebuilding year.
Got a lot of things.
The top 5 pick. Top 5 pick coming up in the 2023 draft.
All true things, but playoffs is playoffs. Don't dream it's over, right? So don't dream it's over.
We might have a what if show next week.
Yeah, exactly. What if?
I'm counting on it.
One opportunity, right? Dr. Strange says there's this one way. Maybe the Lions will care more than KJ thinks they will, and it works out. Or maybe Rodgers is already ready for some trip down into somewhere to do some weird mind.
Maybe he has a bad game. He had a bad season for the first half of the season.
Hey, the Lions are pretty good, right? The Lions can put up points. To close it for me, at least, it is a bummer. I do think the NFL did us dirty. No doubt. Do think that they'll play hard, but I have to take KJ's words to heart, because he's the player who's been out there and whatever the mental switch is that happens, that your season's over regardless. I do think it comes into play at some point, even if it's like on a particular play, you decide I'm not going to stick my shoulder into that hole. It's just like maybe I'll tackle him 5 years. Let the linebacker clean them up. It's fine. You never know.
Even if the coach tries to protect him from the score, the Packers and Lambeau is going to make sure they know if the Seahawks win.
No, unfortunately they'll know, right? It is what it is. I can only listen. Let's win our game. Let's have this watch party. Let's have this watch party. Let's summons the good Hawker for Goff and team. DeAndre, Jamal Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Who's the kid from was it Williams, the kid from Alabama that had the knee thing that he's, got
Hutchinson,
back going
right?
this year. They could play, man. You got a Khalif Raymond. He's got like a nice big incentive he's going for, by the way, with like, I forget what $250,000 incentive on the line if he gets a few more catches.
And they hate the Packers. They hate them, right?
hate the
I
Packers.
hope so.
They do hate the Packers. They've been the stepchild of the NFC Norris, if you will, for a long time, right? So they can exact some revenge. I'm not giving up hope, boys. We're gonna win this game. We're gonna win our game, and then the Lions are gonna beat the Packers. That's how it's gonna go.
Now Brandon has me worried about another thing to worry about, and I was already just excited for us to beat down the Rams, and now
well, that's happening. It's going to happen, Phil. Why are you being so down about after my prediction?
Now you tell me all the refs are going to call everything against us and make sure they've got.
Well, that's because that's what they want the NFL to have. But our team can overcome that.
Okay.
It can happen. I
want the watch party.
Okay, gentlemen, what if we say go Hawks?
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.